It's Wednesday. I just filmed the quote of the day video for day 9, and I figured I might as well record a longer version of this because I have a lot to talk about on this topic specifically. And the topic, or the quote of the day, is, well, I have it on my hand this time, not on my whiteboard, but it says, "Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will." I know this firsthand, and I had to learn this lesson the hard way. Back in 2025, the beginning of 2025, I was very complacent. And I fell into this period of complacency, of comfort. I had the money in my bank account. I was working and doing things that I enjoy doing. I was training. I got to go to the gym. I got to train martial arts. And I was just living a good life. Maybe it wasn't the life that I wanted to live, like the ideal life that I wanted to live, but I was happy with where I was. And as a result, I got comfortable. I got complacent. Instead of me like starting up another business or, pursuing something new on my career side and just growing in that area of my life, I didn't do anything. I remember thinking, and I have journal entries of this, I remember saying like, I don't want to fall into this period of complacency because I know, and my previous mentor that I was with back in 2024 kept on repeating, like, you can't get comfortable, you can't get comfortable, you can't get comfortable. To not only to me, but to like everyone else that he was like mentoring or coaching. And despite that, like, I still fell into it, and I learned the hard way that, that's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I should fall into ever again. And that's the funny thing with goals, is that once you achieve a goal, no matter how small it seems, like the moment that you get comfortable, you have to drag yourself out of that comfort. And I use drag purposefully here because if you're in this period of comfort and like, okay, you're earning the money that you want to earn, you're just happy with your situation. Like, you are okay with how things are right now. Once you get into that state, you have to drag yourself out of it, because if you don't, you can get stuck in that and you can become stagnant. And all the momentum that you've been working towards, like before you reached your goal, it's gonna stop if you become complacent. And then you're gonna have to, as an analogy, you're gonna have to get the wheels turning in your car again, and you're gonna have to push the car again. And getting started, going from 0 to 1, takes so much more energy than going from 1 to many. That first initial stage of you starting out, that's where you put in like the most effort, because you're just getting started. And if you fall into a period of complacency, you're gonna have to do everything all over again. You might make more progress, you might make more progress faster, but you're still starting from this place of, okay, I became stagnant, and the progress that I made, just basically you're going back to square one and you have to do it all over again. Whether this is in your career, whether you get complacent in a goal, maybe you just achieve this goal that you've been working towards for so long, you can become complacent. And something that I also noticed during that period in the beginning of 2025 for me was I felt lost. Like, I felt like I was in this transition period, which, looking back at it in retrospect, I realized that everything that happened to me back in 2025 was for the best, but I didn't think that way back then. Like, I had to learn this the hard way, and I did learn a lot of valuable lessons that, dare I say, I wouldn't have learned in the magnitude that I did learn if I didn't go through it myself. But this period that I went through was a period where I also felt very lost. Like, I was just finishing up the sales side of my career, and I was thinking of starting a business, but I didn't know what exactly I was gonna do. And so I felt lost. I just had no clue what I was doing. And I was kind of looking for my next goal, because technically I achieved a goal that I set for myself, right? And so I was just completely lost. And this other trap that I fell into was falling into this idea that your why, or the reason why you are gonna pursue this next, career move or start this new business, is just gonna magically appear in your head one day. I don't know why I thought that, looking back, but that's something that I had in my head, and it stopped me from doing a lot of things, and it made that period of my life last longer. But what I learned from that period is that if you don't know what your why is, if you don't know your reason for starting a new business, maybe you don't even need to start a new business. Like, again, this can apply to anything in life, but if you don't have a why right now, if you don't have a reason, just start trying random things. Just start doing random things for the sake of doing random things. Like Gen Z people say, go on side quests. And for me, that was cooking. And funny story, there's actually this podcast with some of my friends that is up on YouTube. I don't know if it's still up on YouTube, but I explained in that I had no clue what I was going to do with my life. I was lost. And so I just started doing random stuff. The first thing that popped into my head was cooking. And so I started cooking. And funnily enough, I started using ChatGPT to like brainstorm ideas for cooking. And as a result, I got into AI. And then I started learning the skill of AI automation, just getting into that world back in mid 2025. And that's how I started my next agency, from cooking, from trying new things, right? It's like, if I just sat there on my ass in bed, like doing nothing, I would never come up with anything. Because how would my brain come up with anything? How would my brain ideate if I wasn't putting myself out there and absorbing new things? You know what I mean? It's very subconscious. I don't even know how to articulate it on camera, but the more things that you try, the more ideas you'll be exposed to. The more ideas you'll be exposed to, the more that your brain will be able to process those ideas subconsciously and formulate new ideas or new ways of thinking, which will lead you to your next purpose, your next goal in life. But if you do nothing, then you're not going to get anywhere. And that's the end of it. You're just gonna feel lost, period. Selfish to say, if you're feeling lost right now, I know this is kind of side tangent from the quote, but if you're feeling lost right now, if you're in this period of complacency, you don't know what you're doing with your life, find whatever interests you. Maybe nothing interests you right now, then just do something that other people are doing. Work on yourself. And when I say work on yourself, like go to the gym, obviously, and like continue improving yourself just as a person. And eventually you'll find fulfillment, you'll find interest in something, and just use that interest, lean into it, allow your mind space to think, and really reflect on like, what do I actually want out of life while you're doing this? It will just come to you. I can only speak from experience, by the way, so if you try this and maybe it doesn't work for you, at least you tried something. One thing that I do know for certain is that if you do nothing, nothing will change and nothing will happen. So you have to get off your ass and do something, okay? I don't care what it is. That's really it for this quote. Again, the quote is, let me check my hand again. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. I didn't really touch on the failure part, but I think that's pretty straightforward. So I will see you guys in the next one.